Hi friends. Okay, I'm so slow. I'm so slow to make another video about my EBV journey, and I'm so sorry. I guess the good news is I've been busy, which means I've had the energy to be busy, and I just have not done a great job of prioritizing um, my videos or my blog. So I'm so sorry for that. I know there are people that have been asking about updates, and I don't want to leave people hanging because I understand what it's like to be desperate and be looking for relief and be looking for healing, and just to be left hanging seems really cruel and unfair. So I'm so sorry for that. Okay, I'm just going to dive right in. I do not remember everything that I shared in my last video. I think it was, because it was like 3 months ago. I'm looking at my YouTube channel right now. 3 months ago. Gosh. But I'm pretty sure I was just talking about like what my symptoms were like and what EBV was doing to my body, how I was suffering and struggling and all of that. And so I want to give you an update today. So that was, I think, I don't know when my last video was. I think maybe it was in February or March. It's end of June now. And in March, I made a really big change, and I started following a very specific healing protocol, a big nutrition shift. I'd already been, I've already been pretty like diligent with my nutrition over the last few years. I work for a company that's a health and wellness company, and we talk about gut health and inflammation all the time. So I already had been pretty on top of, I felt like, my diet, but I read this book called Medical Medium by Anthony William. It was recommended to me by a friend who had also battled EBV a few years ago, and she had a lot of success following his suggestions and advice and everything. So she reached out to me, and I said, yeah, let's do it. Why wouldn't I try something that has worked for someone else, So anyway, in March, I started doing a really strict dietary protocol. I don't want to call it a diet because I've not been trying to lose weight. I would love to lose weight, but that's not my goal right now. My goal has been to heal my body, to be well, and to be whole, and not be fragmented, and not be suffering, not be ill. So anyway, so I struggle with the word diet because I don't want you to think that I've been like concerned about my fitness, because that's not been my primary focus at all. So let's see. What was this nutrition protocol? So basically, I've been eating plants. I've stayed away from grains and gluten, soy, sugar, added sugar, artificial sweeteners. I've stayed away from any animal products, dairy, meat. What else? I'm trying to think of. It's probably easier to tell you what I have been eating than what I haven't been eating. I've been eating a lot of fruit and vegetables. That's mostly been my diet, fruit and vegetables, and then some legumes, and a lot, and I mean a lot, of sweet potatoes and other types of potatoes. I found it to be really helpful. I have definitely gone through a lot of detox. A few weeks ago, like a good portion of my abdomen, my legs, my arms were all covered in a pretty gnarly rash. So was my face. I had the like lupus butterfly rash for a couple of days. It was just red and hot and itchy. And then it was like prickly, not prickly heat, but like splotchy red all over my arms and legs and abdomen, like I said, for a few days. And I just increased Epsom salt baths. I increased the amount of potatoes I was eating. I've added vitamin C powder to my smoothies, and also I've been taking a lot of supplements. So I'm going to make a separate video talking just about the supplements, but not today because I have to get my son from preschool pretty soon. But I wanted to share with you what I have been eating, basically like what a day in the life looks like, and I want to tell you about all the things that are going well, because I know my last video I was like listing off all the hard things, all the crazy symptoms I'd been having and whatnot. So basically every morning, this has not been the case for the last week because I was just in Vegas for a week for work, which, like, hallelujah, praise the Lord. How awesome that I had the energy and stamina and strength to go to Vegas for a week. I'm blown away. I did not think that was going to happen. last fall, I really didn't know that I would ever like have a full day of like being out of bed again. I thought I was just gonna have to like bide my time like between the living room and my bed, for the rest of my life. It really did feel like that. So anyway, so what I'm about to tell you, I'm getting back on track with this week traveling. I gave myself some freedom, and I could tell a difference in my body. But so this is the norm. So every morning I've been working on juicing celery every morning. So I'll drink celery juice, just plain celery juice on an empty stomach first thing in the morning. I know it doesn't sound appetizing, but when you're desperate and you want to be well, you do the unappetizing thing. And honestly, it wasn't that bad. My friend recommended that I mix it with a little bit of fresh apple too. So I juiced a little bit of apple here and there, especially if I got like a more bitter bunch of celery. What's my hair doing? My hair's in the awkward growing out phase. So start the day with celery juice on an empty stomach, and then a morning smoothie, which was a ton of wild blueberries, frozen wild blueberries, with a banana, spinach, Hawaiian spirulina, a teaspoonful of that, a quarter teaspoon of vitamin C powder, and I've used local honey too because I tend to have allergies. And this is, see, can you hear? I was outside a lot this morning, which I'll tell you about in a minute. But this is our first spring in the Ohio River Valley area, and everyone says allergies are terrible. So I've added in local honey to try and help with that. And I just find that it also helps to mask the spirulina if I get too much of the spirulina powder in my smoothie and I can taste it. So mix that with either unsweetened almond milk or what did I just say? Coconut water. That's what I was trying to think of. And drink that every morning. Sometimes when I felt like I needed more energy or like I just wasn't getting enough, I'll add a teaspoon of peanut butter, no sugar added, or almond butter. And I know there are different schools of thought on the amount of fat they're eating, especially if your liver has been compromised. So keep that in mind. So I've tried to limit my fat for sure. I know keto is a huge craze right now, and I know healthy fats are necessary, but I also know if you're struggling with something like chronic EBV, that puts you on a different playing field than someone that's just trying to like lose weight and be fit and rah, 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 so keep that in mind. Don't fall prey to all the buzzword hot things, because your body might not be needing to lose weight. Your body might need to heal, and it might need you to lay off on the fitness stuff. That's been my story for sure. So anyway, I'll do that smoothie after about 20 or 30 minutes after my celery juice. And then for lunch, I honestly have done a lot of smoothies. I do smoothies twice a day. So I'll mix it up a little bit. I do a lot of like mango and strawberry and blueberry, definitely wild blueberries, as much as you can tolerate. With the wild blueberries because they're rich in antioxidants, but they're also really great for helping to detox the body and promote healing. So let's see. I usually end up doing a smoothie for lunch, and then dinner. My favorite go-to for dinner has been, and this is a total shout out to my friend Ashley, I've made kind of like nachos with potatoes instead of chips. So I'll just like thinly slice sweet potatoes and little red potatoes or little yellow potatoes. I like the mini ones because, I don't know, they're cute and easy to work with, I guess. Thinly slice them and either cook them in a pan on the stovetop or, what's the word? Cook them in the oven. I can't think of the word, but cook them in the oven on like 375 or 400 for a while until they're crispy, and then that's your base. And then I'll use some gluten-free black beans, mixed greens, spinach, and then just pile on the veggies, bell peppers, onions, what else? Tomatoes. If you can find a salsa that is compliant with the healing protocol, that's great. Otherwise, you can kind of make your own, like pico sort of thing by dicing up veggies. And then I have done some avocado and cilantro with some lime juice, and it's delicious. It's so good. I don't even miss like cheese or dairy or any of that stuff. I don't miss the grains at all. It's just delicious, especially if you cook the potatoes so that they're crispy and they really do feel like chips. you don't feel like you're missing out on anything. And actually I always feel like I'm doing something so good for my body. Why would I feel sad about that, you know? So that's been my jam more often than not. And also on the nights that I don't want like a nacho Mexican flavored flair or whatever. I'll just do like roasted veggies, and I've done that's the word, roasted in the oven. I've done like asparagus, different types of squash. I always incorporate potatoes because those are supposed to help with the detox process too. They help it be a little more gentle on your body, and they just they help you feel fuller too, and they're good nutritious food. I know a lot of like low carb people are like, no potatoes, but I'm like, yes, potatoes. They've been really helpful for me. So that's kind of what a day looks like. If I need something at night, if I need a little snack or whatever, I've done frozen berries are my jam right now. I can't get enough of them. I will eat them cold, or I will like in a little dish, like a custard sized dish sort of thing. I will dump some wild blueberries in there, and some strawberries, and even some frozen mango, and I'll just defrost it in the microwave for a couple of minutes so it's like soft. Sometimes I'll heat it up all the way so it's warm, and then you stir it together and it's kind of thick with the mango in there, and it just is like, I don't know, a warm fruit compote sort of thing. Maybe I'll add some nuts or some coconut, shredded unsweetened coconut to it, that kind of thing, and I feel like I'm eating a dessert. Or I'll mash up some banana and put in there, and it feels thicker, like a pudding sort of deal, and that'll help me get through the night if I'm feeling like gypped or slighted, or I just need a little something extra or whatever, or my body's just hungry again, because there are days that I've been hungry, and then there are days that I'm like, I cannot eat anything else, and all I've had is like a smoothie, and I'm like, okay, I know I need more nutrients, so I'll like force nutrients in myself to just to support and help my body through the healing process. But I also am trying to watch my hunger cues and not just, it's a balance between like, am I getting the right kind of nutrients, and am I getting enough of them, versus I'm really not hungry, my body's not craving anything. The thing about EBV is that it really messes with your body, and it can send so many mixed signals, and so I don't always necessarily trust the signals that my body sends me. I try to like go based on what I know to be fact nutritionally, and I've been working with I don't know what her exact title is. I guess she's an integrative health specialist. She's a nurse. She has nurse credentials, but she's worked in like a traditional hospital setting, but now she has her own practice, and it's an integrative health practice. So she's much more holistically minded, not like shoving pills down my throat or anything like that, taking a whole person approach to helping people heal and be well. So I have followed a lot of what she has said nutritionally, and she has confirmed what I've read through medical medium, like, yes, stay plant-based. When we're ready, we'll introduce things one at a time, kind of thing, and slowly. I've cheated on that a few times, like traveling and whatnot, but anyway, so that's been really helpful to have her confirmation on things, and to just have her support and knowledge and expertise. Let's see, what else? I told you about what I eat in a given day. Also, so one of my guilty pleasures has been just sweet potato chips, which I know aren't necessarily like a health food, but they're crunchy, they're easy, and I have found sweet potato chips that don't have anything else added to them, just some oil, which again, with the fat thing, you kind of have to like weigh and balance what your body can handle, and if you, depending on how many symptoms you've had associated with your liver being compromised and whatnot. So anyway, that's been an easy little go-to. Fresh apples and bananas. I've done a lot of fruit, and it's been so good. It's tasted delicious, but I've also been feeling so much better. Okay, so before this like video gets away from me and it becomes forever long, let me tell you about how I'm feeling, because it's great for me to tell you everything that I'm doing, but if it's not working, then there's no point, right? Like, why would you watch this? So let me tell you. That's my lame drum roll. This morning, I went on a run. It was a 3-mile run, and I walked the first half mile because it was all uphill, But then I did intervals. So for 2.5 miles, I did an interval run, 2 minutes on, 2 minutes off, sort of thing. And it was awesome. I felt really good. I have not run in a long time. I think in February I tried to do a little bit of an interval run, and then I paid for it for like an entire week. Like my body was just like not ready. I pushed too hard too soon. So I went early this morning. It's already hot here. It's like upper mid 80s, whatever, and super humid. So I went this morning before it got too hot. So it was like upper 60s, lower 70s, super humid. But it felt really good. It was not an easy run, and when I say it felt good, it wasn't like, oh, I'm getting that runner's high and all of that. It wasn't that at all, but it just felt good to be able to move my body and to know that my body could handle it. And there were a few times that I like was maybe running up a hill, and so then my next interval I like walked 3 minutes instead of 2 or something, because I was like, okay, I need to pace myself a little bit. I don't want to just go like full throttle crazy. But it just felt good to be able to do something physical that was like challenging to my body without feeling like I had immediate consequences, kind of thing. So let that be a testament to you about how well I'm doing, okay? So some other highlights. I don't wear my glasses anymore except when I'm doing screen time, which is amazing because last fall my optometrist said my vision was deteriorating, and I've never needed glasses for anything other than reading, and like barely even a prescription at that. But he was like, yeah, you definitely need glasses. Your vision is deteriorating. It could be due to EBV, or it could just be that you're getting older. And I was like, okay, not taking that kindly. I'm going to claim it as EBV, and I'm going to show you, kind of thing. So that's cool. I can see great without them. I feel like I look naked sometimes without them, which is funny. But I'm super excited about that. Super excited. I don't have the ocular migraines like I was. Maybe I get a little bit of a twinge of one once every couple of weeks. I started to have a little twinge last week in Vegas. It's a 3-hour time difference, and I ended up being up until like 2 a.m. my time the first night I was there, and I was just tired for logical reasons. It's 2 in the morning as far as my body's concerned, so I was feeling that a little bit. But then I got like 8 hours of sleep, and the next morning my eyes were fine. I didn't need to wear my glasses, which was amazing. So I'm calling that a win. The rash all over my abdomen, it comes and goes, but it's mostly gone, which is awesome. And I have noticed a pattern when I eat gluten or grains, then that's when it tends to be more inflamed. So I've just been like more diligent about staying away from that. And when I say when I eat them, I mean like, so I've like broken protocol for a few different things, like a date night to a winery that some friends set up, which was super fun and totally worth it to break protocol. I've been to a wedding. Actually, I've been to 2 weddings that I just didn't really have control over the food being served. And I know everyone, like people say, you always have control over what goes in your mouth. And it's true, I do. But I didn't plan well for either of those. And one was a cultural experience that like I felt like it would have been rude for me to not eat the food. So I did the best that I could. And I just knew like my body, this is going to like affect my body a little bit, and I'll just deal with it. It's one night kind of thing. So for me personally, it was not worth risking the relationship for the consequence on my body. I knew that it would not be that big of a consequence. So all that to say, I've broken protocol a few times for like 24 or 48 hours kind of thing for a special event. And I can tell, it's been really interesting to be able to tell like, oh, gluten and grains. Yep, that tends to irritate my skin or cause my skin to like flare up and all that. And so I probably need to just watch that. I don't think that I'm intolerant of gluten or grains. I think that my body is just healing, and those are big inflammatory agents. I don't know if that's the right word, but I know those cause inflammation and contribute to inflammation. So I shouldn't be surprised that my system would be sensitive to them right now. I think I will bounce back. I think I will heal. But also I think it's probably generally a good idea for us to avoid that kind of stuff anyway, especially if it's processed and prepackaged and not something that we've had a hand in, making and controlling the ingredients and quality. So let's see. Energy is a lot better. I'm not taking naps every day. Sometimes I do. But if I take a nap, it's usually like a 20-minute nap while my son naps, and it's not the whole 2 hours that he's napping or anything like that. And it's probably just like maybe once a week, twice a week, depending on how much sleep I'm getting at night, which is also a great thing. I'm not having to sleep for 10 hours a night anymore to be rested. I can do 10 hours is still great if I can get it, but I've been okay, not like fully there okay, but like I can function on 8. If I want to be fully present mentally and not have the cobwebs feeling, I do need the 10 more often than not. But it also depends what kind of activities I'm doing during the day. So I have started walking. That was something my integrative health practitioner was wanting me to start incorporating. So I've done a lot of walking, a lot of meditation, which is something else I need to share with you too. I probably need to make a separate video about that. I'm going to make notes. A supplement video, and oh man, let's say we'll call it a healing my mind and spirit video. Because that is not to be underestimated in your healing journey when you're dealing with EBV. Your mental, emotional, spiritual, all of that needs to be addressed for sure. And I'll tell you more about that in another video. This one's starting to get long. But anyway, all that to say, my sleep has been a lot. I haven't needed as much. Now, when I got back from Vegas, I did have 3 nights in a row that I slept for 12 hours. So there's that. But I also was going the whole week in Vegas, and I really didn't crash at all, which was huge. Even with like different air quality, different climate, different schedule, different food, all of that, my body held up so well, and I was super thankful. And also with stress, it was a different kind of stress too. So I was really thankful for that and really impressed and amazed and yeah, all of that good stuff. So let's see, what else is better? What else? I do feel like my brain is clearer most of the time. I feel like if we're talking spoon theories, if you're not familiar with the spoon theory, look it up. I can't explain it, but there's lots of videos that explain it a lot better than what I can do on the fly. But if we're talking spoon theory, overall, I mostly just feel like I have been given way more spoons in the last few months. Like I've been intentional about doing things to heal, and I've been like gentle on my body, and I've taken time to rest when I need to rest and do things to heal when I need to do things to heal. And I feel like I've just like gained more spoons. So think of spoons as your currency for going throughout your day, and who wants to have a limited supply? I mean, we all have a finite supply on some level, but when you're dealing with a chronic illness, chronic fatigue syndrome, EBV, lupus, whatever autoimmune situation you might be dealing with, it's even more limited, and sometimes that happens just overnight, and so it catches us off guard and can be really, really unnerving and frustrating. See this hair? Anyway, so who wouldn't want to have more spoons added, you know? Okay, so I think that's everything I wanted to share today. I just wanted to give you an update. No, I'm not going to talk about that. I was going to talk about fitness, but I'm not ready to talk about that yet because I don't really want to go there mentally yet. I still have some more mental and emotional work to do before I really set fitness goals. But my goal right now in like starting to run today and stuff, and I did do a little lightweight workout, strength training workout yesterday. My goal in doing that is just to move my body because I know that my body needs to move to be well, to be healthy. And I know we were designed to move. We weren't designed to be sedentary, still creatures, you know? So I'm just trying to work that back in, but from the right perspective, not the like, I want a bikini body perspective. 6-pack abs and toned firm glutes and whatever. I might want those things, but I don't want that to be the driving force behind why I'm moving my body. I want to be strong, and I want to be healthy, and I want to be active so I can be well for a really long time. So, anyway, gosh, let's see. Was that everything? I feel like that's everything. If you have questions, please don't be afraid to send me a comment or send me an email, any of that stuff. I hope this is helpful. Again, my whole goal in sharing my story is to help encourage other people, offer support, offer some insight, but also I do want to document my own journey for my own sake, because it's so important, I think, to make road signs along our journey and build monuments so that we can remember, we can look back and remember, man, look how far I've come. Like, yeah, I was in a rough spot, but look where I am now, and thank goodness that I'm here, and all of that good stuff. So I definitely am of the persuasion that I believe that God is real, and I believe that his hand is in everything, and so I totally believe that this journey has had his hand all over it too. But it has come down to me choosing to be intentional and choosing to make some sacrifices in order to get my life back on track. And so I don't think I could have done it without his guidance at all, or without strength and all of that. But I do think that it came to a point that I had to be the one to choose, and I had to say, okay, God, what do I do now? And so I think a lot of pieces just fell into place at the right time for me, and I don't think that's a coincidence. So anyway, I hope this is helpful to you. I hope it's encouraging. If you have questions, if you need me to write out my nutrition plan or foods or any of that, let me know. I'm happy to do that. And I will work on making another couple of videos about the supplements that I've been taking and how they've helped, and then also about healing in other ways, like your mind, emotions, spirit, all that. So, okay, I said this was going to be quick, and it's like my longest video to date. So I'm hopping off now, and I'm wishing you guys wellness and wholeness. Yeah. All right. Bye-bye, friends.